So Sam Hyde has officially made his boxing debut. This is something that I've actually been looking forward to for a while because I've wanted to talk about him a little bit more than I have already. I made one video about him when Anissa Joma, Idubbbz' wife, said that he was a business risk to have at Creator Clash, which I get to an extent. I thought it was pretty dumb, but whatever. But basically, I really thought that Sam Hyde just wasn't going to be able to fight because he's just had such a turbulent past, and when it comes to the media, a lot of them don't like him, and because of that, it just really is hard to include him because that brings a lot of negative press. It does also bring a lot of fans, but a lot of articles I'm sure were being written, alt-right troll, quote unquote, being on a boxing card. When it comes to the actual fight, Sam Hyde did pretty good. He seemed a little nervous in the first round, but he was pretty much winning, I would say, most of the time. The Thompson guy got off a few shots, nothing too serious. Sam Hyde was using a George Foreman long guard, kept him off. He grabbed a little bit, and he looked great. Sam Hyde's almost 40, so it was just really good for he's 37, which is insane. There's so many creators that are 37. Def Noodles, Ethan Klein, Sam Hyde, and they all look like they're in different stages. Def Noodles looks like 27, Sam Hyde actually looks 37, and then Ethan Klein looks 47, which is just wild to see on a base level. But all of that really pales in comparison to what happened after the fight. So Sam Hyde's had some interesting words. I'm going to play them for you.
You know that, Hasan Piker? I'm coming to kill you in Los Angeles at your house.
Or in the ring.
No, in real life. I'm going to stalk him and become obsessed with him and wear his makeup and his dresses and use his skin as a coat like the ancient Irish did.
Well, that's your winner, Sam Hyde!
I just find it so weird just how people react to the things that people just say when they're clearly joking. He's putting on a thick Irish accent, and he's been pretending to be a leprechaun for the past month publicly. This is clearly not a serious person, but yet everyone's acting like this is the most serious thing ever. Oh my god, Sam Hyde just threatened Hasan Piker. Oh my goodness. This is the worst thing that could ever happen. It's clearly a joke. I mean, at least they're not being really cringy about it. Cringy to the extent of where they make a circle chart to explain somebody's humor. Idubbbz. It's just really weird. Why do you care? It doesn't even matter. I'm gonna get into a whole different thing, and I'm gonna talk about him later on actually, because this does tie in pretty well. The thing I find so interesting about Sam Hyde, and I'm not the hugest fan of Sam Hyde, I think he's done a little bit much sometimes. I just find him interesting, and I find the way that people react, again, to be really interesting. To seeing the way people change over time and try to distance themselves from certain things, and to see him stay consistent so much. Sam Hyde, he's been this type of boisterous character for years and years and years now, ever since that Adult Swim show. In fact, I saw a Turkey Time video where Idubbbz was talking about Sam Hyde, that whole drama that went down, and I remember seeing an interesting clip with Idubbbz talking about the Tana content cop.
I really but I mean, I also take ownership for the Tana. The Tana thing was my.
Oh, that was so long ago.
Was my idea. Was my stupid idea.
Yeah.
I was the one
he
that
suggested we can go to the place. It's just in San Francisco. I'm like, it is just in San Francisco.
Yeah, that drive and everything. And now I think back to it, I'm like, I can't believe we literally harassed an 18-year-old child at her show. It's kind of.
That's I guess when you put it that way,
it doesn't sound like
horrendous.
Yeah. It's horrendous. It's probably my most embarrassing. It is. It's fucking embarrassing. But I mean, it was things that a lot of people loved. I mean.
Yeah. I mean, it was I can recognize why it was entertaining. I could also recognize why it was completely out of line.
I just find it funny, seeing all these creators that have taken this road of sort of being oh, that edgy humor that I used to do is just the worst thing ever. Okay, when I put my arm around Tana and I said, say N-word, that was just me. That was me harassing her. Or, well, at least that's what Anissa says, which is just weird in of itself. 18-year-old child. I mean, she's grown enough to create a convention. I don't think she needs your sympathy because someone said, say N-word. Like, this woman did try to ruin your husband's life, but hey, she's really living up to the Yoko Ono name. Not that I care about the OnlyFans stuff. I think that's stupid. Oh my god, how dare you do what you want with your own girlfriend, but that's a whole nother discussion. I really can't wait to see people's reactions to Sam Hyde, like saying this type of thing, because the type of audience that Hasan has, you know that they're gonna come after Hasan. Well, they're gonna come after Sam Hyde, followed by Hasan coming after Sam Hyde. Hasan actually tweeted a little bit ago, and literally starting to sound like a Leafy clone, but every reply was just people bringing up Sam Hyde, being like, you gotta fight Sam Hyde, you gotta fight Sam Hyde, you gotta fight Sam Hyde. And I know he's gonna be so sick of it, to the point of where I saw Turkey Tom tweet about how saying Hyde or Candyman in Hasan's chat will get you an hour-long timeout, which is just hilarious to see. Like, just people freaking out over the smallest stuff. It's just so wild. On some levels, I could kind of get why someone would be like, oh, that's kind of weird that they're saying they're going to come to my house and off me. But, like, this is a guy who's a clear character. Like, obviously. Like, he's always doing crazy stuff. He literally explained in a documentary that, like, he messes with people. Like, his entire experience with Idubbbz was just messing with him. And I'm not trying to, like, meat ride him or anything, because, like, again, he's done some dumb stuff. Like, the TED Talk stuff was really stupid. And the reason why it's so hard for him to do mainstream stuff is because he's done so much crazy stuff. But at that same time, I think people are just bugging out and taking him way too serious when it's just so clearly a joke. And I feel like that's really a problem, is that a lot of people they see something and then they take it as serious, or they realize it's a joke, but then they are like, oh, well, this joke is bad because I don't like it, because I think it might affect somebody else, or it might affect a group, or it offends me personally. When something offends you personally, like, only real person that should be like, well, nobody should really be offended about Sam Hyde making that joke, but the only person that feasibly even has like a slight reason to be is Hasan. That's it. If you're just a random person walking down the street, you're like, oh my god, Sam Hyde, I can't believe this. Like, please just chill out. Please. Like, I guarantee you nothing's gonna happen to you. Nothing's gonna happen to Hasan. He's good. And everything's fine. That's basically all I wanted to say. The fallout will be fun. I am definitely looking forward to that. So thank you all for watching. Goodbye.